You know what kills me? When this is what confuses me. People live their whole life away from God. They homeboys, they homegirls, they mamas, they daddies, they uncles, they girlfriends, they boyfriends, they cousins and them, they friends and them. Like a group of friends. Say a group of males, a group of 5 males that are walking that are not living righteously, not living godly. That group of 5 males. One of those males gets, gone, is no longer there. Basically, is no longer, is in the grave. Everybody, rest in peace. Rest in heaven, my angel. I know you're looking down on me. You're finally resting. What part of y'all brains? That's how I know it's a spirit of delusion. There's a spirit of delusion, because there's no way that your homeboy lived his whole life away from God, didn't pray to God, didn't talk to God, didn't live righteously, didn't do anything, didn't even go to church, didn't do none of those things. But you think that your homeboy is in heaven. Like, you think your homeboy is resting peacefully. You think your homeboy is with God. And that's why I know, like, people are saying, I don't believe in God. Y'all don't believe in God, but y'all say rest in peace. Where's the peace? Y'all don't believe in God, but y'all say rest in heaven. How do you think you think people just die and get to heaven? You think that every time you die, people just go to heaven? So nobody's in hell. No, nobody's in hell. Your homeboy's not in hell. Your homeboy that was a murderer, he's not in hell. Your homeboy that was a cheater, that was an adulterer, is not in hell. Your homeboy that was a thief is not in hell. Your homegirl that was fighting everybody is not in hell. Nobody's in hell. Nobody. And it confuses me, because y'all will, our soul knows there's a heaven and a hell. Our soul at least knows there's a heaven, because when somebody is no longer there, what happens? Y'all get a shirt, and what's on the shirt? Clouds with your person's picture. Rest in peace, rest in heaven. Where do y'all have the funeral? In a church. So subconsciously, y'all know God is real. Y'all know God is out there. Y'all know God is real. But y'all think just because you die, y'all are going to go to his house. You caused hell on earth. Neighborhoods are scared of you. You have ops. You were the op. And you think that God is finna just invite you into his home? Now, there's gonna be people that says, well, they could have repented at the last minute. They could have, but I hope they did. King Von, I hope he repented with his last breath. I pray to God he did. I hope he did. However, that's not always the case, because God knows your heart. God knows that if you try to, on your last breath, oh God, I repent, and God ain't stupid now. God ain't stupid. He's not stupid. That's one thing about it. So it baffles me that people really think that you can just live your whole life. You can live your whole life in sin and just go be in heaven. I don't know. Spirit of delusion has to be. You know what kills me?
Yep. All right. First and foremost, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. It's your brother Yeshaya, and this clip I had saw, probably like a week ago, and I was meaning to do lessons on. I got how they say lessons in the clip. Um, you know, that I need to go back and do, but the spirit jumped on me finally to do this one, and it's going to be along the title of "Does everyone go to heaven or hell?" I mean, not hell, heaven. It's like now I'm gonna touch on some of the points that this young lady was saying. Hopefully, it's edifying. But the first one I'm gonna start at is yes, everyone does go to heaven. Okay, because heaven is basically where the Lord Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, and the heavenly angels, all right, the heavenly hosts are, okay? So you have spirits, okay, that are not of the elect, all right, which means they're not written in the book of life. So any of their deaths, you know, should, if there was a hell, be punishable by that, right? But we come in and out, okay, of the spirit world because the earth is a place of judgment. All right. So yes, everyone is in heaven, but their place in the upcoming heaven to come okay, is you know uh up to be determined, you know, to be determined. All right. So yeah, and another point, these Christians, they're so delusional, like, and it gets you so mad, but you start to like over the course of time and experience, you learn how to bridle your anger, just turn it into a video. But they are so delusional and think that Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, which they don't even know the names. They just think just because they think they're doing right in their mind and that they're wearing a crucifix around their neck and they go to a harlot house known as churches. Okay, they always equating, being in a building, which Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah said that, he heaven he made earth his footstool. Earth is his footstool. Okay, what can you offer to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah? All right, what possibly can you offer to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah? He made, the heavens and the earth. Let's get that really fast. I think that's Acts. It's a couple in Acts. Let's get Acts 7 and 48. Acts 7 and 48, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? So there you go. So he said, heaven, all right, is his throne. And you got what? The spirits of, past humans, okay, they go before the throne and they get issued a judgment to play back out in the earthly realm. All right, so there is no such thing as hell. When you go into words like hell, okay, it goes into, Sheol, which means grave or pit. All right, grave. Okay, so hell actually is basically the grave, and hell can be a condition because look at the prophet Jonah. He said his hell was 3 days in the fish's belly. So he was, on the verge of getting down, digested, dealing with stomach acids, just darkness, not knowing where the hell he at. That's hell. That's complete hell. Okay, and hell is here on earth. So yeah, you Christians, y'all think that y'all automatically have it, that y'all automatically are reserved a seat, okay, of the elect. Because basically, when you go to the dynamics of the elect, I mean of the kingdom of heaven, and then you got heaven and you got the kingdom of heaven, okay, which is yet to be established, and then there's a hierarchy. So you got 2/3 of the nation of Israel that's gonna not even how do I put this? 2/3 of the nation of Israel that even when heaven, okay, is or the kingdom rather is given unto the Israelites, they're gonna have a low position in it, and the heathen, okay, are gonna be in their hell, but at the same time, it's gonna be righteous. So after 1,000 years of slavery, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, sets up his government by the throne of David to govern certain parts of the earth. Okay. So you're gonna have certain brothers, in certain regions governing and watching over the heathen because the heathen still have to be taught. All right. After that, we're gonna have the law, statutes, and commandments in us. So the heathen is still gonna have to be taught. All right. So yeah. So and just because you wear a cross, or a crucifix, you're not automatically guaranteed a spot in, uh, um, a top spot in heaven. Let's say that because everyone is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. It's going to be the Lord's going to open up the realm that separates heaven and earth. Okay, it's going to be one. So may thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All right. So that's going to come into play. So then, what do you have to say then? Where's hell? What does hell? If hell is in the middle of the earth, and Lord said that His will, that will be done on earth as is in heaven, then where the hell is hell? Where is it? Is it in the ocean? I mean, in the middle of the galaxy? Like, where is it? Is it a spiritual place where you can't see it with the naked eye? I don't know. Right? I don't know, man. Y'all people are the delusional ones, but you're gonna find out soon. Matthew 24:13. But he that should endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So hey, we're still figuring out if we're part of the elect, and that's where basically the question lies. All right, trying to spot out who may be the very elect, because that the kingdom is for the elect. Okay, the kingdom is for the elect, but the elect is all of Israel. But you're gonna have some people that have been raised what unto everlasting contempt. Okay, so let's go to the book of Daniel. Book of Daniel or Daniels. Book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting content. So that's what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Everybody's going to be in the kingdom of heaven, but there's going to be a hierarchy. There's going to be certain ones that are going to be hunched over, okay, of the Israelites, because they didn't make it on that side, but Yahweh Shah's blood still covers them on the back end. All right. The elect get, the victory over the beast, his image, and his mark. So that's the front end. Okay. The Lord said, I show you a mystery that some of you shall not die. Right. So there you go. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they would like to play that as hell, but no, that's a condition. Okay. That's a condition that is gonna lift, but it's gonna be on the 2/3 for a certain period of time. However long Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai wants it, to last. All right. So let's go into this, man. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 7. And it reads, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, who gave it. So there you go. All spirits go back to the Heavenly Father. He is the creator of spirits, okay? And spirits don't die. So over dispensations of time, we've received the judgment from the heavens. And there's more than one heaven. The scriptures talk about the third heaven. Okay. There's three heavens. All right, you got the heaven that can be seen, which is the clouds, you know, and everything like that. Up in that, reaching what 20,000 feet, stuff like that. Then you have the other heavens, okay, which is the atmosphere, the ozone layer, the Van Halen belt, and everything of that nature. Then you have the third heaven, which Paul talked about, which is the actual spiritual heaven, the spirit world. Okay, so there's different types of heavens, and that's why we don't really engage with you Christians, because we will run ourselves, man, crazy, drive ourselves crazy. It's like talking to a Christian is like being gaslit without them trying, because you will be telling them, try to break it down to them, and they're so far out the loop that you start questioning yourself. So yeah, man. Oh man, all right, yeah. So Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, who gave it. So everybody, yes, goes to heaven. Okay, the heavens. All right. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. And it reads, For we all must appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Okay. So, this happens through our life, but there's gonna be a final judgment that's gonna be sealed forever. Okay. When the heathen get their judgment, and the top heathen Esau. And look at the state of Esau. Okay, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai even has mercy, okay, on Esau by ending him after 1,000 years of slavery. Because they're going to be what? Building up our kingdom of heaven. They're going to be building up our kingdom, and the other nations are going to be around. They're going to have their little pockets of, the earth. Okay, but it's going to be done in righteousness. All right. And Esau, after 1,000 years, they're going to be exterminated, as thus saith the Lord. You can go in Obadiah. All right. It's going to be a big ass bonfire. Okay. Like brothers always say, brothers are going to be tossing them in. Now, what the Lord going to do with their spirit, hey, I don't know. There's certain things we know in part, we prophesy in part. So it's certain things that we, don't know yet, but we have enough. Okay. And certain, elders and brothers have more, but hey, it's beautiful. So yeah, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, and I hope this is making sense. I'm kind of all over the place with it, but hopefully it just all comes together. uh Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So there you go. In the NLT, it's like I also noticed that under the sun there is evil in the courtroom. Yes, even the courts of law are corrupt. So, yeah, this place under the sun is very wicked. All right, but that's why we're waiting on uh the Lord's will to be done on earth as is in heaven. Okay, so let's move on to the book of Matthew 16 and verse 28. And it reads, "Verily I say unto you that there be some standing here which shall not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." Okay. So some, of us are not going to die. Okay. And, that means basically you're still alive on earth, and kind of mimicking a, I mean, it's the resurrection, but kind of mimicking the translation that Enoch went through, and Elijah as well. The translation into heaven, all right, and where they, this body, because it says that the corruptible have to put on incorruption. So you can't take this flesh in a chariot, or you can't flesh in the heavens. Okay, there's nothing but righteousness up there in the heavens. All right, because it's in order. All right, and Satan did not rebel against the Most High, and said, "Forget this, I'm leaving," and packed his bags and just left heaven. No, it don't work like that, man. But anyway, yeah. So uh lost my train of thought. "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." Okay, so there you go. All right. So yeah, you have the heavens that's in the earth. I mean, heavens that you can see, and the heavens known as the third heaven that, like Paul talked about. All right, so let's go to the book of First Corinthians, chapter 15, around the 51st verse. And it reads, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." All right. In a let's start at 50. Mystery of resurrection. The mystery of resurrection. All right. "Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Neither doth corruption inherit corruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." Okay, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So the ones of us that are on our feet, or we survive, okay, when those missiles hit, because just like I read in Matthew the 24th chapter, the 13th verse, they don't. You don't even. Christians don't even understand the concept of salvation, or what salvation is. They say, "Hey, well, I'm saved. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." Man, hell no, man. That means you're damned. That means you're actually fucked. So you might want to get up out of that, right? So yeah, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So we can't take these bodies, man. All right, we got to end. That's the resurrection. Okay, some of us that if we live, we'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye to those new bodies and meet Yahushua as he is. Okay. And the ones of us that might have to, perish because you do have mortars, all right, that didn't bow their knee to Baal, but instead took death. Okay. You got guillotines and, like John saw, John the Revelator saw, he saw what? The ones that were beheaded. All right, which means that they're gonna be putting certain ones of us to death. Okay, on this side, but we believe in the resurrection. It's not a mystery to us. We believe in the resurrection, and just as the mother of the Maccabee sons said, you know, when she got that manly stomach, um, basically, she spoke with her chest through the spirit and poverty. How about Shem Shai said, hey, whether you put us to death, it doesn't even matter, pretty much, that we're going to be raised. Okay. Yahweh about Shem Shai is going to raise us in due time, man. Okay. So, um, you know what? I'll get it. I'll get it. Is that first Maccabees, the second Maccabees, the sixth chapter? Got to be two Maccabees. Mm, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Second Maccabees 7:20. But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her seven sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Lord. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell you how ye came into my womb, for I never gave you breath nor life, neither was it I formed the members of every one of you. So giving all credit to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as you now regard not yourselves for his law's sake. Uh yeah, let me see what he said. Yeah, verse 29. Fear not the tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. All right. So she knew that the Lord would raise them back. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, verse 36. For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's covenant of everlasting life. But thou through the judgment of Yahweh shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our Father, beseeching the Most High that He would speedily be merciful upon our nation, unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that He alone is the Most High, and that in mine and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. Okay, so yeah, so she said, hey, no matter what. Um, uh she's gonna she believed in the Lord that and reincarnation. All right, she'll see him again, you know so let's see, yeah, so let's go to the book of John. And I know it's a spot where she said that like kind of more verbatim, but for time's sake, the point was proven. John 5:28. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in graves shall hear his voice and shall come forth. They that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. Woo! That is fire. Okay. That is fire. So there you go. All right. That's the two resurrections, man. All right, and it says they that have done evil until the resurrection of damnation. So you're gonna have ones that are gonna be raised up out of the graves just to receive that judgment of what those thermonuclear missiles. So there you go, man. The Lord is cold. Ain't no getting away from the Lord, man. Hey, you got away with it, but you didn't get away with it. um, 2 Corinthians 2 and Shlaki, 2 Corinthians 12 and 1. It is not expedient for me, doubtless, to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in a Mashiach Yahushua above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua knoweth. Such and one caught up to the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out the body, I cannot tell. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Noah. So there you go. All right, so that's the third heaven, which is spiritual heaven, the one we can't see. Okay, the Lord, He's a power that hideth Himself, right? He's on His throne in the heavens. Okay, so there is no hell, man. There is no hell. All right. You think that the Lord will have mercy on Esau, all right, the top villain, the ones that he hates, okay, that he vowed, all right, to have war with from generation to generation, the Amalek, all right, which is the chief of Esau. All right. The Lord even had mercy on him. So you think certain of his people, he's basically gonna punish forever, even when he um don't worry about it. Don't open that door. Salakia. All right. Revelation 21 and 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Okay. I lost my train of thought. But you think the Lord is gonna punish his people that he loved, that he's even gonna forgive. Yeah, that's the second covenant. He said he's gonna forgive them on the back end. So who the hell is the occupants of heaven or hell? And like she was saying, it's so delusional in your mind. You believe that you don't even have the fear of not knowing for sure if you're going to that place or not. You just think because you put a crucifix and you go around your neck and you go to a harlot house that you automatically good. Like that is crazy. That's the top level of the Lulu, right? So this is the last one, First Thessalonians 4 and 17. And it reads, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we be ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. So there you go. Don't trip about these people that have ignorance mixed with incredulity. You know, hey, everything gonna be all good, man, for the elect. So, Lord willing, I was edified and want to end it with that, giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, safety to the Lord's elect. Shalom.